Lady killer thinks he got away with murder. Oh, I said murder. Oh my god, nigga, I cannot pronounce for shit. I mean murder, murder, murder. I got murder on my mind, like why the Melly type shit.
It adds up to me. It adds up to your ass supposed to get arrested for murder. Well, I guess what it is then, because I didn't do it. I believe you did. You not, you sir? Are a master manipulator. Do you not think you that? Have manipulated her for years? Oh, I have not. And not only you're a master manipulator, you are another word that begins with the M. What? Murderer.
Murderer.
This is Robert Miller, an established criminal in Tom Green County, Texas, with a total of 17 arrests under his belt. As you just saw, he is
17?
being accused of
God damn, 17 arrests, my nigga. If you in and out like that, then damn, I don't know what to say to you, King. If the first time you went ain't changed your life, ain't changed how you supposed to act, I don't know what to
murder.
say to
But
you,
perhaps what is even more intriguing is
man.
the detective's
You
statement
just a
right before
general
that.
crash
You are
out.
a
What up?
master manipulator.
Without a doubt, many criminals in the true crime dossier are master manipulators. In recent years, this term has become a common buzzword used to attract viewers. But it's not
Ooh.
every day that you hear a detective
Okay,
call the
okay,
suspect a
okay.
master manipulator directly to their face. In order to decide whether Robert is worthy of this title or not,
That
vital
was
context must
too
be given, including the series of events that led up to this moment. On May 13,
son.
2015, the Tom Green County Sheriff's Office in San Angelo, Texas, received a call from a woman named
I just paused it for no reason, bro. I just paused it
Tony
for no reason.
Epperson regarding a missing person. She was invited to the station for an interview. During this interview, Tony told the detectives that her stepson, Robert Miller, has a wife named Naomi Michelle Miller, who suddenly
Naomi.
vanished in December of 2005, and she hasn't been heard from since.
So
Okay.
you didn't know her as Naomi Michelle Miller. You know her just as Michelle.
Yes, sir.
What did Robbie tell y'all about Michelle?
First, they told us that she ran off with the cop, and that she just left in the middle of the night and didn't take anything.
Tony reported Michelle missing to the
Left
police
in the middle of
following
the
her
night.
disappearance, but for some reason, neither a search nor an investigation was launched. Tony had a hard time believing that she would run off, as it meant that she was abandoning what was most important to her kids.
Robbie and those two kids were her life.
Yeah, that's suspicious. She got kids. She ran off in the middle of the night. Hell nah.
And I think that's why I never dropped it, because I knew she'd never leave those kids.
Yeah.
But like I said, I've told my friends ever since then that she didn't just disappear.
Tony's
Yup.
theory was that Robert
Something
had
happened.
actually killed her.
Ah,
Sorry, I waited so
damn.
long to do something. But you know, it's kind of hard to go tell somebody you think somebody killed somebody and you don't really have any proof.
The reason that Tony was contacting the police again after all these years was that her stepson, Robert's brother Daniel, had just recently passed away. But right before he died, he had something important to tell her.
And you remember that Daniel told you what?
That Robbie told him that he had killed Michelle right after they moved in that house on Glass Road, and that she was buried on Glass Road. And Robbie always talked about how easy it would be to hide the body because nobody would look.
The sheriff's office was very familiar with Robert. He had been arrested a total of 17 times, so it wasn't
17?
far-fetched to believe that he might be involved in something like this. Despite having no concrete evidence of foul play, they took Tony's concerns seriously. After 10 years, an investigation into the disappearance of Michelle Miller was finally in motion. Investigators began by searching their databases for any record of Michelle. They discovered that she had been pulled over for a routine traffic stop and was issued a ticket on June 11, 2005. Soon after that, all activity from Michelle halted. There were no tax documents, no medical records, no government programs, or bank transactions. Nothing. They also reached out to Michelle's family and learned that she and Robert had an unusual marriage. It turns out that they were swingers and had developed a relationship with one person in particular who played a pivotal role in their lives. Her name was LaDonna Yoder. This relationship became so
Madonna.
serious that they all wore wedding bands and told people that they were a happily married throuple. In 2004, LaDonna
Trouble.
and her two
Happy married. Oh, throuple? That means three niggas in a relationship. I catch on this shit. Throuple, three niggas. Third. It got third in it, my nigga. They was in a three-way relationship though. I wanna know what that's like.
Two children were invited to live with Robert
I
and
wonder what
Michelle.
that's like
Not
for
long
real.
after LaDonna moved in, Michelle suddenly went missing. Robert and LaDonna carried on as if nothing happened, and LaDonna became the mother figure for Michelle's children, even forcing them to call her mom. After learning this information, the detectives wondered if something sinister had happened to Michelle. And without any eyewitnesses, they also wondered if it happened inside their home. The property that the throuple shared was sold in 2007, 2 years after Michelle went missing. Thankfully, the new owners granted the detectives permission to conduct a search. They began by documenting the layout of the house and taking photos of each room.
Everything's original?
This is the only room that's actually been remodeled.
Okay, now what's this room right here, man?
That's just a hall closet.
As they moved throughout the home, the detectives noticed a subtle foul odor. According to the current homeowners, it was a lot stronger when they moved in back in 2007.
It smelled really bad. It smelled really, really bad. And then one of the neighbors actually told us, he was like, well, you know, in these houses, cats will get under there and die and stuff like that. And so we just
Damn.
kind of thought maybe
Cats will get under there and die just like that. God
it's just a
damn.
bad animal. Because every time you go in there, it's just stunk.
They had never inspected the foundation of the home themselves, but there was a random hole in the kitchen floor where you could access this area.
My husband is an engineer, and he was like, there's no reason for that hole to be like that.
The detectives decided to bring a dog named Orion that could detect human remains. He immediately gave an alert when inspecting this hole in the kitchen floor, as well as another hole on the exterior of the house leading to the same area. They began digging a hole and collected the soil as they went.
Hey, dogs be if you trying to hide something and they bring out a dog, you getting caught, my nigga. Like dogs, they using dogs for everything, my nigga. Damn.
Okay, we got bucket one. Here we go.
The longer they dug, the stronger the foul odor became.
I mean, there's odors down here.
The detectives were certain it was only a matter of time before they found a body.
That's got to be a grave, dude. It's gotta be. Yeah, it's gotta be.
After removing 70 gallons of soil, they hit a hard layer of clay, ending their dig. After all that, no body was found. Additionally, the soil samples were sent to a crime lab and no blood or DNA was detected. However, they did find carpet fibers that were mixed into the soil. The theory at this point was that the body had originally been buried there but was later moved. And it had been so long that any blood or DNA in the soil was no longer viable for testing. However, there was no way to prove this theory, and no probable cause to arrest Robert, so the investigation stagnated for 2 more years. Then, on March 1st, 2017, a warrant for Robert's arrest was issued for an unrelated misdemeanor, a Class B theft from 2015. The detectives saw this as an opportunity to reignite the investigation into Michelle's disappearance, so they headed on their way to Robert and LaDonna's new McCulloch County residence in Brady, Texas. When they arrived, they knocked on the door, and Robert answered.
Hey, Robert, how are you doing, sir?
Oh, see you, sir.
Bully 5 Ash, Thompson County Sheriff's Office. It's been a while. Well, the reason why we're here today is we got a warrant for your arrest. It's an old thing.
Man, I thought that was already taken care of.
Yeah.
All this over a misdemeanor?
Well, it's just a piddly deal, but we'll come down there and talk to you here in just a minute about it, all right?
Can I call my wife inside and let her come out here? I mean,
Yeah, well, I'll come talk to her.
They quickly escorted Robert to the back of a police cruiser before he got the chance to talk to LaDonna. As he was being transported to the police station, they knocked on the door again and waited for LaDonna to answer.
We don't want her to know why he's really going to jail. Hello, I'm Sergeant 5S, Thompson County Sheriff's Office. How are you doing?
we're good. Like we didn't wait.
Well, we got Robert under arrest. Are you able to come up to the County Sheriff's Office and come meet with us?
LaDonna was brought to the station in a separate vehicle and sat down with the detectives for an interview.
All right. What year were y'all married?
Oh, 7.
And when y'all got together,
A year before I
was he
was
still
born.
married at the time?
Yeah. They were in the
Well,
process of
a year
separating.
after I was born. My bad.
Michelle?
Where is she at these days?
I don't know. Honestly, I don't know.
So just one day she up and leaves?
According to LaDonna, on December 3rd, 2005, she and Robert got into a heated argument with Michelle.
I wound up staying in the living room because it had gotten pretty bad.
Yeah.
And I'd fallen asleep, and when I woke up, she was gone.
So you never see her again? She doesn't move her stuff out. She doesn't contact the kids. It's just, and she's gone.
I was told that he had gotten a phone call or two from her, and that she said that she was tired of his BS and that she wanted to be treated like a queen and she was going back home.
Yes,
And
Queen,
like she and her family
yes.
was in Wisconsin.
She told the detectives that she believed what Robert had told her and didn't ask any questions. The detectives weren't buying it. If anyone were to know what Robert did with Michelle, it would be LaDonna, so they stopped beating around the bush.
I'll tell you this, Robert has made some comments about taking her life. And we, as investigators, believe Miss Miller is dead. I also believe you could be culpable if you're not straight up with us today.
Who was in part of this?
LaDonna was immediately flooded with emotions. She proceeded to desperately distance herself from the incident, but it didn't take much persuasion to elicit a confession.
What happened to her? We want.
I don't know. All I know is that she left.
No, it's not true. He took her life. But Donna, it's okay. You've been carrying this a long time.
Yes.
Okay.
They had gotten in a fight, and it gets quiet, and he walked out of the house with something. He had something big in a blanket.
With LaDonna in a vulnerable state, the detectives kicked it up a notch. They pulled out an iPhone and asked LaDonna to act out Robert's actions from that day while they recorded it.
I said, let me kick it up a notch. I'm gonna need some more information. I ain't letting this go. They ain't letting this go. Let them kick
So
it
you
up
told
a
me
notch.
how he was dragging the body.
Kind of like a little bit of bundle right here. And it's just pulling like going around the deal and just like kind of come like this. And
Okay. And it was wrapped in what?
in a blanket. I'm color blanket. I didn't know that was a show. I didn't know that was a show.
So, did he bury her in the backyard?
There was fresh dirt there the next day, yes. So he would have had to do something.
But there was a grave in your backyard.
The detectives then showed LaDonna an aerial photo from their former residence on Glass Road and asked her to point exactly where Michelle was buried.
Fresh dirt would have been right here. Just up against, almost up against the house.
The cadaver dog hit right where you're talking for decon.
It was there with the fresh dirt.
Yeah, they moved her.
So all this time, have you ever asked Robert what he did to her? How he killed her?
No, because I didn't want to know. Because I didn't want to think about it every time I go to bed. I sit there and I think, oh my God. Oh my God.
The fact that LaDonna was aware of all
Uh-huh.
of this and never contacted the police makes her an accomplice at the very least. But the detectives didn't want to accuse her of anything just yet, as she could become defensive and stop cooperating with them. They did, however, leave her with one final warning.
We've asked you to be 100% open and honest today. I hope you have been. If we call you and all of a sudden you don't want to talk to us, to me, you've moved from being a witness, now you're going to be a target.
I understand.
Okay.
All in all, LaDonna's interrogation was a huge success. They extracted all of the information that they could, and would now use that information to confront Robert. After talking about his theft charge for a bit to build rapport, they then jumped into the same line of questioning as LaDonna's interview, asking about their relationship before asking questions about Michelle.
You and LaDonna been together how long?
I think it's about 12 years, 13 years now, something like that.
All right. Was you married before then?
Mm-hmm.
That was a no and a yes.
Yeah.
Robert became visibly uncomfortable when the detectives started asking him about Michelle. His body language goes from open to closed off as he crosses his arms and struggles to respond. This is a common response when a guilty person feels exposed during an interrogation. The detective notices this change in demeanor and cracks a relatable joke to ease the tension.
Yeah.
Hey, I have, a lot of us have a first wife we're not real excited about.
Yes, sir.
And just like that, Robert's behavior instantly changes again. As soon as the detectives begin to laugh, you can see Robert realize he is too tense. He takes a deep breath, stretches his neck, and smiles back. For the rest of this interrogation, you can see Robert fighting this constant inner battle of feeling threatened while trying to play it cool.
15 years.
15 years. What was her name?
Michelle.
Y'all get divorced or what happened with that deal?
Yeah, kind of sort of. Kind of sort of. We still haven't actually got divorced, but she left December 22nd, I think, of 04. I think it was the happiest day of my life.
Oh, really, Robert? This is just one of the many
Hmm.
bizarre.
Oh, really, Robert? Oh, really,
Oh,
Robert?
really, Robert? This is just
Oh,
one of the
really,
many bizarre
Robert?
statements that Robert makes throughout his interrogation.
What the hell was Michelle or whatever? What's going on with her?
Right. Well, you know, Michelle went missing in probably 05.
Went missing?
You never reported her missing.
Because she wasn't.
Right.
I mean, because, no.
Here's the deal. We ran a cadaver dog at the house. Yes, sir.
A cadaver dog? Where?
That's to find bodies.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
We found not a body, but we found evidence of a body.
Where?
Under the house.
She's under the house?
You know where? Quit playing dumb. You did it. Quit playing dumb. He moved her. He probably moved her. Most likely did move her, like they said before. It was traces that something was under there, but no blood or none was under there. It was traces. Like they found clay under that bit. Why was clay under that? Is that what they put under houses? Clay under the dirt?
Now, you know she's not under the house.
No, sir. I know. Well, no. I mean, I know for a fact I didn't put nobody under the house.
Okay.
I swear to God.
All right.
Don't lie on God, my boy.
We know. We've already talked to LaDonna, and LaDonna has already confessed to the entire incident, including you wrapping her up and burying her.
Okay.
And so we're here today to talk to you about that.
Okay.
Okay. You're saying okay.
Yeah, you tell me then. LaDonna's already told you that.
Is LaDonna lying about this incident?
Something she is.
Is she involved? Did she kill her?
I don't know, but she's lying about something there.
You lying about something?
I did not kill her. I never fucking hurt that woman. And she's still haunting my ass. So what do you mean by she's still haunting me?
Yo, what you mean?
Agreed that yeah, she's dead. No, it's just a figure of speech. Don't try to turn it around. I never hurt that freaking woman. Just saying, oh, the whole 15 years we were together, they made life hell on me. I never hurt Michelle, never wanted to hurt Michelle.
With Robert not recalling the incident, the detectives bring LaDonna into the room to remind him herself.
Honey, why would you say I carried a body out, baby? What are you talking about? You carried something out in a blanket. I never carried her outside, baby.
Yeah, you carry something in that blanket. What was in that blanket then? Tell me what was in that blanket. Tell us.
The laundry room and out the back door. Baby, the back door. The one blanket that she always used on the bed, Robbie. LaDonna, think about it very carefully. I am thinking about it. I see that every time. I see that in my... Honey, really? Baby, I've never even been underneath that house, honey.
Did you ever see Michelle?
Calm down, baby. No. LaDonna, calm down.
All right.
Please, honey.
I want to have her step outside for a minute.
Well, can you please calm down a little and talk to me again?
They had hoped that Robert would be caught off guard and either slip up or realize confessing might be the best way to save his skin. Instead, he immediately played the role of the concerned husband, gently calling her things like baby and honey to calm her down while shutting down her claims.
Honey, why would you say I carried a body out, baby? Baby, the back door. I see that every time. Honey, please, honey.
The detectives only saw this as a manipulation tactic. They were afraid that this might influence her to change her story, so they immediately removed her from the room.
That doesn't even add up.
It adds up to me.
Well,
it adds up to this dude who's been a policeman since 1989. You know what it adds up to?
He's been a policeman since 1989. 1989.
What?
It adds up to your ass supposed to get arrested for murder.
Well, I guess what it is then, because I didn't do it.
I believe you did.
You not, sir?
Are a master manipulator.
Do you not think
you
that?
have manipulated her for years?
Oh, I have not.
And not only you're a master manipulator, you are another word that begins with a M.
What?
Murderer.
Despite the detective's clever elaboration,
I
Robert
hit his
continued
ass
to deny
too.
that
I had
Michelle
to.
had even died, let alone that he had murdered her. They even showed him a picture of himself with Michelle, hoping to trigger even an ounce of remorse.
So if you can say something to her, what would you tell her? Shit, that I still love her? I love the shit out of that woman. I love her to death, man. I did. I loved her forever. Yeah, good woman.
Does that dress kind of look like that comforter she was wrapped up in?
It kind of does, huh? Yeah. Yeah. It is kind of like that, but like the white there is more of a peach color of that comforter.
Mm-hmm. You wrapped her up in a comforter that looked a lot like that.
It is a comforter. The one that we had?
Yeah, and that's the one you wrapped her up in.
No.
That's the one that
I can damn near swear that comforter, we still had that thing for years. We threw it away from it.
2 times I said that the rest was like the comforter you wrapped her up in, and you agreed.
I know what you're saying. I know what comforter you meant is what I was agreeing to.
This is the second time Robert has had a Freudian slip and played it off as his words being misconstrued.
She is dead. The last person with her alive was you. The last place she was alive was at your house with you. We have a witness that put you there. We have a witness that put you dragging her body out of the home.
You already caught my
I'm
boy.
telling you, jury is not going to buy.
What was in the covers then?
The jury.
What was in the covers? Ask that question. What was in the covers? I want to
Is
know.
going to believe.
I want to see what you
The
say.
facts.
I'm telling you, I don't kill her. Period.
At this point, speaking with Robert was wasting everybody's time, so the detectives wrapped up the interview. Robert was charged with murder and transported to the Tom Green County Jail. However, the investigation was far from over. Primarily, the detectives still wanted to find Michelle's body. They wondered if LaDonna, scared of Robert, had withheld any details in her first interview. Now that he was behind bars, they asked her to come in for another interview.
We need to go back and solidify some of the details of the events that occurred that night. Did he ever insinuate that he'd done anything with her?
No.
I took care of the problem. I shut her up forever.
No.
I know there were conversations between you and Robert about this deal. Where he's
I know the first few days, when I'd ask him what happened to Michelle, where's she at, what's she, and he would just blow it off, or he wouldn't say nothing. So I never even asked him more about Michelle.
LaDonna stuck to the same story she had in the last interview, so they tested the plausibility of this story by having her draw out the layout of the house and illustrate what she remembers from that night.
This is the living room, and like the blanket comes out like that.
Yes.
So you catch the end of the blanket.
There's got to have been some conversation. There's got to be in the next little piece of that puzzle.
I honestly, I promise, I knew, but I never wanted to know for a fact.
But in 12 years, that doesn't come out.
He's never ever said, I promise, he's never ever said anything.
LaDonna seems much more composed during this interview, which could be a sign that she is telling the truth. However, she has also had an entire day to get her story straight and mentally prepare for any further questioning. The detectives decided to do the same thing that worked in the last interview, throw her into a setting that she's not prepared for, and challenge her lies directly. They decided to take LaDonna to where the crime had occurred, her former residence on Glass Road, hoping she would crack under pressure once again and lead them to the body. Upon arrival, they took LaDonna to the initial burial site and asked her where Robert had moved the body. Once again, she said that Robert never told her, at which point the detective gave her a piece of his mind.
What else is you told us? I'm not trying to be an asshole. I'm trying
I know.
Look, I'm trying to get this guy locked up because I don't want him coming after you.
I know.
So did he ever tell you that he buried her out here?
God, I can't do this no more. He did. He killed her. No, he killed her.
Did he tell you he killed her? LaDonna, look. Just because you
Yes,
have...
he did.
When did he tell you that he killed her?
3 days?
Did he tell you how he did it?
Ah. Nah. Nah.
Hounding him about why she wasn't coming back, what was going on.
Okay.
And then when he told me that, and I'm sitting here thinking, oh my God, if I say something, if I leave, what is he going to do?
Has he ever told you where he moved her to? Exactly.
I know she's out at the racetrack.
The racetrack she is talking about is the 17-acre Santa Rosa Sports Arena, which was once owned and operated by Robert. Following this outing, the detectives obtained a warrant to search for Michelle's body on the track property. On March 11, 2017, several days of careful excavation began. During this time, detectives told Robert about LaDonna's detailed confession and the search at the racetrack. Robert immediately asked to speak to the detectives once again.
Forget her. I was trying to tell him guys, and he gave me immunity, not punch me in that direction.
I'll tell you right now, we don't negotiate for immunity per se, as much as we
got to tell the district attorney your level of cooperation. If you want to cooperate with us and tell us what you know.
Although this sentiment does hold some merit, the detective is not being fully transparent. There is no guarantee that the information Robert provides right now will benefit him moving forward. In fact, speaking with the authorities without an attorney present backfires more often than not. The prosecutor may offer Robert a plea deal leading up to his trial in exchange for an admission of guilt, but that is not always on the table.
We had a couple of arguments that morning,
Right.
2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, and I laid down in the living room floor with my daughter. She was scared that her mother was going to take her.
Right.
Anyway, Lynn was like, well, I'll take care of it. She was all smooth. I'll kill her. I was like, are you crazy? She's like, no, I'll go kill her. At 3:30 in the morning, something like that. I remember Donna coming there and telling us that you don't have to worry about it no more. Take care of her. She's buried in those ditches back there.
Are we talking about the house?
And then later on, at another date, she said she moved. I can't prove that for a fact, but I know, I never went and checked, she said she moved her to the racetrack.
The detectives have successfully pitted Robert and LaDonna against each other and are now reaping the rewards. With each accusation they make against each other, the detectives are provided a new lead to follow up on. So, following this cycle, the investigators went back to LaDonna and told her Robert was now saying that she was the mastermind.
Okay, here's what we got. They're interviewing Robert right now. Right, Robert's phone call. Yeah, Robert's saying you killed her. And
Are you freaking serious?
well, what did you expect? He knows we're going to find the body, so he's mounting his defense.
Now he wants to cooperate.
Right.
So if there's anything else you know, it's time to get it up.
Okay, I was with him when he brought her out here. Matter of fact, I was driving. He made me drive because I had no sense. He had me
You
pull
should
over
have
on the road
said
to
that
the
at
side,
first,
and
at
he
least,
just
bro.
pushes her off the trailer onto the ground.
You should have
He
said
gets
that
the
at
maintainer, and he just
first. You
digs
just
it, and he
said
digs it, and he
you
digs it.
found him.
And then finally put.
You just said you found him carrying covers. You should have said, yes, I know because I drove him to the spot where it happened. Instead of taking up all the time, you should have just said something, my nigga. I ain't gonna hold you.
Should have rose her back over in it.
If you already snitching or if you already gonna lead them to the evidence, why not just start with the most important detail
And he takes the
or
maintainer, and he
whatever?
goes back, and he covers her
Why
up.
not?
And that is where he put her. She's gonna be in a tarp.
The excavation crew took this new information and began digging several massive holes in the area Michelle was allegedly buried. After many hours of intense labor, they found a small piece of blue tarp. They continued digging, slowly exposing the tarp more and more. And when they could finally open it up, they found a blue-green comforter wrapped around a skeleton. These remains were tested and confirmed to be Michelle. Adding to the wickedness of this crime, there was duct tape wrapped around her wrists, ankles, face, and eyes. This suggested that Michelle was bound and likely kept alive for an uncertain amount of time. It also increased the chance that this was a two-person job. Meanwhile, Robert continued to claim that he was a bystander to LaDonna's heinous actions. In another attempt to convince the detectives of this, he volunteered to take a polygraph test.
Are you in the state of Texas?
Yes, sir.
Did you kill Michelle?
No.
Did you kill Michelle that night?
No.
In your entire life, did you ever do something you regretted?
No.
Did you participate in killing Michelle that night?
No.
What's going through your mind during this testing? What
He
questions are you
capped
having
on all of them.
the most problems with?
None of them really. I mean, what am I?
People going to look at this and going to say, this was the day that he was asking for, he wanted this.
Is what you're saying.
And what I'm saying is you're having some issues, and I'm trying to figure out what those issues are.
I passed the part where I said I didn't kill her? Or no?
Man, you failed the whole deal.
How? I mean, I don't understand what I'm doing wrong, sir.
Hey, I'll tell you what you're doing wrong. You're lying.
The polygraph examiner tells
Quick
Robert that at
cabin.
this point, confessing to anything is better than confessing to nothing.
I don't know what.
Tell me that you're not that cold-blooded killer.
No, sir,
Tell
I
me,
am not.
tell me you're the one that just got wrapped into something,
Yep.
and that you didn't necessarily kill her, but yeah, you might have had something to do with the disposal. If that's the case, we need to get out in front of this right now. And I
Yup.
say that because I'm looking at
You had something to do with the disposal, my nigga. It's on the track
these
field shit.
pictures and stuff,
It was
and
in
I'm
the
thinking to
track
myself,
field.
God dang, you know. This is one of those things where what kind of person puts duct tape on a person's face like that?
I can't understand. I can't see what's
Well,
what.
That's her skull.
Really?
That's her jaw. Wow.
I haven't seen her.
What kind of person? What kind of person would put duct tape on somebody like that?
I don't know.
Robert just saw his wife's remains, the wife who was missing for 10 years, and he still claims to love. Yet he showed zero emotional reaction, continuing the
Facts.
conversation like
I was just about to say something. He didn't react at all, really. He didn't react at all. He had no reaction.
nothing even happened.
You need
Bad
somebody.
reaction.
No, I'm
He
trying
had
to.
no reaction.
That's why I tried helping officers the other day.
She just died in the other room. She just got that old duct tape wrapped around her, and then.
I did not put her in another room. I did not wrap the duct.
About this.
Yeah.
Uh,
Because I didn't do it.
It's
nah,
funny
he
something
caught.
to you.
He caught.
What's funny is I'm getting railroaded.
You're getting
Nah, he caught. Ain't nothing about this whole situation is funny. He caught.
gratification. So why'd you kill her?
I didn't kill her.
He
Why'd
caught.
you get rid of the body?
I didn't get
Why are
rid of
you
the body.
lying about it?
I'm not lying.
You obviously are.
Apparently I am. Then.
This back and forth carried on for a while. Slowly but surely, and with the help of another detective, Robert eventually gave in.
Okay.
Mhm.
LaDonna Smothers told me she smothered her with a pillow. She said they got in an argument. He said she just laid the pillow over and she smothered her. Then she took her jewelry off of her and wrapped her up in the blanket and took her outside, wrapped her up in a tarp, put her in the footings that I had out back. Honest to God. And then we had the racetrack. Already had the drainage ditch dug there or whatever. And we moved her over there and put her in.
Okay. Why'd you just say that? From the
Because,
get-go?
man,
If you
I'm
would've
not
just told me
upset.
that.
I'm just
But we
scared.
got some
You understand that?
This far into the investigation, it was hard to believe anything Robert was saying. Regardless
Yeah.
of whether or not this story was
He-
completely true, he just admitted to tampering with evidence. So this charge was added on top of the murder charge, and he was taken back to his cell. Each time they spoke to LaDonna, her involvement grew. From not knowing anything, to witnessing the body being transported, to actually talking about it with Robert, to then helping Robert relocate the body. It wouldn't be surprising if her next confession was that she helped immobilize and kill Michelle in the first place. So the detectives circled back with LaDonna yet again to see if she would confess even more.
Guess you saw in the news that obviously the body was found.
I had read it on Facebook and everything after his sister-in-law told everybody I was the murderer.
Michelle's family calling
sister-in-law.
LaDonna a murderer seemed to affect her, because right after bringing it up, she began crying. But this garnered no sympathy from the detectives, who were about to call her out for the same thing.
Now, here's another thing. You know, the body was duct taped. You aware of that?
No, I was not aware of that.
The indications are that she was alive when she was duct taped. Now, are your fingerprints going to be on that duct tape?
Better not be, no. No, you can run it.
All right. All right.
Where was she duct taped at?
We got a picture.
Oh, God.
She was duct taped over her mouth and her face and her head.
Why?
Because she was alive when she did it. Because you helped him duct
No,
tape.
I did not.
Sure did.
I sure the hell didn't.
You're involved in it as deep as he is, and you know it.
No.
Yes, ma'am, you are.
No.
Yeah, it's hard to look at, isn't it?
I didn't do that.
Yes, you did.
No,
you
I
had
didn't.
a very, very, very important role in it.
No.
Because I guarantee you, why would you?
My role in it was when he tried to get me to do it and I wouldn't do it.
What I think is you've got a role in it. You better get straight with it 100%.
I didn't kill her. He wanted me to, but I couldn't kill her. I couldn't do it.
We're about tired of this half-ass.
I was in the
I want the story.
I was in the
I want the story now. Give me the story.
And he told me, he said, take that pillow, put it over her face. I said, I can't. He said, just do it. I went to put it over her face and she moved. She looked at me and I said, I can't do it. He's out. He grabs the damn thing and just smashes it.
So you're in the room.
It's somewhat astonishing that LaDonna kept agreeing to these interviews considering how easily she cracks under pressure. Just like every other interview, LaDonna had an emotional breakdown and more details began pouring out of her. Apparently, she and Robert had talked about killing Michelle several times before it actually happened.
How many conversations did y'all have about killing her?
There was probably about 3. He says, if anything happens, you won't get in trouble. I'll take the blame because I had to get rid of her. She's going to take my kids from me. That's why whenever he told everybody I'd done it, I was strong because he just kept promising me that he would own up to what happened.
This information was crucial, as it meant that Michelle's murder was premeditated. But LaDonna still pinned the blame on Robert, saying it was his desire to kill her, and she was merely a bystander.
When we were talking about the duct tape, you said your fingerprint shouldn't be on there.
No, they shouldn't be.
That's not a definitive no. So did you help put tape on?
No, I really honestly didn't.
LaDonna, why should we believe?
You shouldn't. You don't have to. I left it all out. I didn't want to.
That's what I'm saying. Is there any? What else is there you can tell us? You need to tell us the rest.
I don't know why she's taped up. I don't.
Across, I mean,
wait a second. Wait a second. No, he did tape her up. He taped her up to put her all together. He says to hold her all in one spot. He said to put all of her body together so it would stay still and arms and legs didn't flop out and stuff. And I don't know why he did that. I don't understand that one.
She did, however, admit to helping bury the body.
I went out there and been digging on that hole for a little bit, and I'm just standing there watching him. And he grabs her, he slides her off into the hole. And he tells me, grab a shovel, help me bury her. I said, I don't want to.
That nigga big as shit, goddamn.
Okay, it's already done. It's
That
already
nigga big as
over.
shit.
What was she buried in?
It was a blanket.
Oh my.
It was a blanket.
Oh my.
No, the tarp was
Pause.
up there at the top.
Pause, but
Got hard back
chill.
there too.
Pause, but chill, chat.
Then I was so scared of driving that night. Because I knew if we got pulled over, then you could not pass up that smell. I'm very sorry.
What are you sorry for?
That I didn't step up and be a bigger person and stop everything to stop him.
Following this final interview, the police arrested LaDonna. She received the same charges as Robert, murder and tampering with evidence. Despite what seemed
Damn. 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 She got charged the same too, which is, man. I don't even know. I don't even know if I don't know if she like. I don't even know if she like actually deserved that charge, my nigga. Tampering with evidence. I said helping. I said helping. Whatever they give you for helping with accomplice or some shit. But murder, the full charge, that's like life, my nigga. Damn.
seemed to be an abundance of evidence. The prosecutors ultimately offered Robert and LaDonna plea deals, and on July 16, 2018, just hours before the offers expired, they agreed.
Naomi Michelle Miller was killed in 2005, then buried at the old racetrack off of FM 2105 by Robert Miller and LaDonna Yoder. Now, over a decade later, they've had their turn in court. The couple took plea deals just hours before the deadline set by the state last week. Both
That nigga look old as shit now.
entered guilty pleas. Robert Miller
He
was sentenced
passed
to
the
38
unk
years in
stage.
prison, and LaDonna
He passed the damn
Yoder to
unk stage.
35.
It's a big weight, lifted off your shoulders. I've spoke with both the mother and the father. They're both grateful for everybody and for everybody's help. And they said that they hope that this will bring some closure to their family and have the
Damn, that
ability to
nigga
lay
big as
Naomi
shit.
Michelle
Oh,
Miller
that
to
nigga
rest,
chunky,
so that she can
goddamn.
rest in peace.
Part of their
Chunky,
plea
what
agreements,
you
the charges
doing?
of tampering with evidence were dropped, and they waived their right to
Chunky,
appeal their
chunky.
conviction. On October 10th,
He's a
2018,
monkey.
LaDonna wrote a letter to District Court Judge Jay Weatherby, taking full responsibility for Michelle's murder. In it, LaDonna wrote, "I, LaDonna Yoder, is the one that took the life of Naomi M. Miller. I could not sit here knowing that I let Mr. Miller go down for the crime that he has been charged for." LaDonna
So she did it. Damn.
Anna went on to describe several instances of domestic violence between Michelle and Robert, as well as Michelle's aggressive behavior towards her and her children. Apparently, on December 3rd, 2005, one incident in particular led to Michelle's death. LaDonna wrote, "Out of nowhere, Mrs. Miller started laughing, saying I was really stupid because I had been thinking that my 3-year-old son was finally sleeping all night long and getting on a sleeping schedule on his own, only to have her tell me that she had been giving him Benadryl to make him sleep. I snapped and pulled my pillow out from under my head and held it over Mrs. Miller's face until she stopped moving." She then wrote that Robert walked in on her sitting next to Michelle's body, crying and not able to move. Robert then took care of the body for her, and she later helped him relocate it to the racetrack. She ended the letter by saying, "I cannot change the past or bring her back. All I can do is ask for forgiveness from God and pray that whatever comes of this letter will be the right thing. I was asked in here why I did it. All I can say was I did it for my children and his children and for him." Robert Miller currently resides at the John M. Wynn Unit in Huntsville, Texas, while LaDonna Yoder resides in the William P. Hobby Unit in Marlin, Texas.
Uh, dang. That's the end of this video.